We're live.
Did you hit it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Now what does that mean?
Means that we're live.
Are we doing this live on Facebook or what are you doing?
Yeah.
Is it live on Facebook right now?
Yes.
Hey everybody, good morning. Yesterday we did tell you that we were going to do some podcasts and stuff like that. So we brought in Walter Porcelato. I just invited him over, sat him down, and he says, "I'm not fucking doing this podcast." Why? Because I go, he doesn't even know what a podcast is. So anyway, he got up. But what we're doing is you know what, we had a great fan base with the, whoa, was I ever skinny in that picture? Yeah. What? Oh, I got to look at that?
Yeah.
So we're going to be doing this. That's right. We're going to talk to some of the characters of the Liquidator. We're going to talk about current events. And we're going to also bring you guys on board with us so you guys can phone in and talk and say whatever the hell you want. So everybody, you guys know Sheldon the Bailiff?
How's it going, guys? You know, I'm a little upset.
You rehearsed this, I bet.
No, I didn't rehearse anything.
Okay,
but
go.
I knew when I came in here, I thought I was going to get my own entrance music. I thought I was going to get this. So I queued up my own because I figured you weren't going to do anything.
Go ahead. What's your entrance?
You know, I figured I was going to get this grand entrance. You know,
What is that? What's he saying?
The champ is here.
Oh, the champ is here.
Yeah.
Is that an MMA fight? Oh, that's Ali.
That's Ali.
The champ is here. Everybody, Sheldon the Bailiff was on the Liquidator. He actually is a bailiff in real life. Tell us, Sheldon, what the fuck does a bailiff do?
Well, we repossess assets for banks, financial institutes, private lenders, court orders. We do commercial rent distress, which is a lot of the stuff that I would then pass along to you. You know, it's one of those industries where we seize anything under the sun. If there's money owed against it, we'll go take it.
So a lot of people want to know, were any of the episodes that we did with you staged?
Not a single one. Everything you see on the Liquidator is 100% authentic.
I said it was 99.999%.
Okay, yeah,
only because they had to sort of put it together. But it is, you are right, it's 100%.
Yeah, the only part that I ever see in anybody is, you know, they say, well, you know, like, how do you get all this? Well, there was times where they get us to reenact something so that they could get off-camera angles.
Well, it wasn't reenacting, it was more
just go through the motions. So
just because I did a different camera view.
Yeah.
So, but I remember one of the episodes that we did, it was actually quite funny. You had all that racking. And it was weird. Sheldon had this racking, and I went, nice rack.
You know,
and actually, this girl comes in, and she had a nice rack. Now, of course, we have to be very careful on how we say these days, Sheldon, because I know how sensitive people are in today's day and age.
You know, there's one episode I didn't want to talk about.
Say it.
No, I don't even want to talk about
it. Well, then mention it.
Because, you know, it's the one time that I thought I finally was really going to fucking screw you.
Yeah.
Because my whole plan was, I got screwed by my business partner.
That's true.
I had no place to go. You took me in, which I appreciate. But I had all this nice racking. And you had all this shitty fucking racking in the back of that warehouse. I thought, I'll sell it to him at a good deal. He'll take it down. He'll move it over, put it up in his new warehouse. And I'll just throw my shit right back on it. And lo and behold, not only did I fucking lose money, I ended up having to spend 8 hours there with this crew while they took it all down and apart and loaded it all, while you walked out the door with all the fucking money.
Yeah, that's one of the things, actually I did make some money, that's one of the things that people didn't really realize when we were doing the show. I remember the very first episode that we did, it was that guy that got shot or shot himself or whatever in Surrey. That was that very first episode, the Snap on Two Books. Yep. And I had to go there every day. We're filming. I go out there at night, setting this fucking thing up, doing all this stuff. Do this huge auction. Nearly killed me. And then it was, that was on a Saturday, Sunday. Monday, like, now what? I'm like, what do you mean? We got to clean this up. No, we got to film. And I went, holy shit. That's one thing about this show that was tough. It was, we did this deal, with any deal. And it was like, okay, guys, now what? And I mean, that was the very first show that we did. And, like, what happened there? What was that whole scene? I can't remember. It was a guy, he had a shop, and he shot himself or something.
Yeah, so a very well-known guy in the community. Great diesel shop. He had some issues with some substance abuse, and there was a pending divorce. And from speaking to the spouse at the time, basically, I think he'd had enough. He was slowly losing his business. He was doing a lot of things for people that
you know how much shit I got
weren't paying
into.
him back.
You know how much shit I got into there was that one Snap-on box that was a pile of shit, and I opened it up with a fucking like a hammer, and people are, you stupid fucking idiot, what the fuck, dude. I mean, I couldn't get into the box. The box was a piece of shit. It's how funny how people, when they see it, and then I was nailed for years about this. You shouldn't have done that to the, oh, whatever. I nailed the box.
Yeah, the other thing I got to complain about too is your coffee getting ability.
Well,
25 years and you still don't know how I like my
How
coffee.
do you like your coffee?
I like my coffee with just cream. None of that sugar crap.
Well, I don't know. I thought it was a double.
double.
Well, fuck. That's what I thought. So tell me something, Sheldon. What happened to you over the last 5 years?
Well, the last 5 years?
Yeah, after the
how,
show.
How long is this podcast?
Well, we're going to keep it quick because I'm getting bored already. So.
Fuck. Or were we talking about the dildo deal later, or are we talking about like...
That was a deal that we did. I tell you what, Sheldon calls me up one day, and this is way before the show, and there was a distribution sex warehouse. Like, so they actually supplied, and I'll tell you how funny that gets anyway. Totally fucking, like, you're not going to believe this. So we go to this warehouse, there's 40,000 dildos, plus anything and everything you could see that was sex related. And I went into this warehouse. That's when we first hired Jorge. And we went in there and we loaded a 53-foot trailer of every fucking dildo that you can, any sex toy, and we put it in the back of a 53-foot trailer, lined it all up with the lubes and shit. And anyway, we get this deal. And I'll explore it. So we get this deal. So we were, okay, let's have a dildo liquidation. So people would come into the store, they'd buy a mattress and they'd walk out with a dildo. And I kind of was like, you know what? I didn't have a problem with it, but it was, yeah. Oh, anyway, so whatever. So I phoned up a buddy of mine. A buddy of mine knows somebody that has about 11 shops in town. Ended up selling to the guy. Anyway, so expedite this further. The show comes out. I'm sitting on a WestJet flight. And this lady walks, all these people, oh, Jeff, hey, Jeff. Liquidator. The chick beside me, she says, so what do you mean? Like, you're a liquidator? Everybody's like, well, you know, to get a rise out of her, I said to her, I go, well, for example, I bought 40,000 dildos. And most people, their reaction would be, 40,000 dildos? She's like, oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of weird. She's looking at me like nothing. Like, it was 40,000 dildos. I go, yeah, so the sex toys. Yeah. She says, well, you know what's funny? That's what my dad did he had 11 shops in Vancouver, and he was known as, this is what he did. And I go, is your dad's name Tony? She's like, yeah. Like, holy shit. What a coincidence that was.
Yeah, it's a small world out there. Okay, so I've got lots of, great memories of the Liquidator and the show and deals me and you've done. And so, but what's one of your favorite memories?
The best memory I had about Sheldon on the show is he pretty much always got fucked. Every time he got fucked, he would have this look of a teddy bear on him. I tell you something about Sheldon. He looks like a teddy bear, but you wouldn't want to fuck with Sheldon. He's a brown belt in judo, which is like one of the fucking most craziest martial arts there is. I mean, kicking and punching and all that stuff. But I tell you what, if Sheldon ever got a hold of you, look out. He acts like a pussycat. He acts like kind of like a deer in headlights. But no, Sheldon. Yeah. And then I got into jiu-jitsu and I thought I could take him. And one time he twisted me upside down and made me feel. I think he got a little revenge out on me.
Oh, it was a little revenge. I could have taken a lot of revenge.
Yes,
I just
you could have.
a little. Yeah, well, it's funny. People ask, and I've sort of coined this phrase. What was it like filming the show with Jeff? And I always tell them it was like filming gay porn, because I seemed to get fucked by Jeff while they filmed it. And it was like every deal that we did, when I thought I was going to get the better of him, I somehow end up walking out of there with my tail between my legs, and I just get fucked.
All right, what does this say? The current frame rate is too low. Please set the frame rate. What? What does that mean? You see that? Are we okay?
We're having technical difficulties.
We want to keep this. We want to get into a little bit. Yeah, Sheldon was getting fucked. Well, what was it? I don't know, man. You know what? How I found this show? I was at a party one night. They were doing a launch of a TV show in Edmonton called some Chinese restaurant show. And anyway, I went to this party. Next thing you know, this guy shows up with a handy cam, and in 2 hours we film, and then I think that's it, done. And at that time, Storage Wars, it's a genre, right? It's like we're transaction based. Now you look at I tell you what, I watch these shows and I don't know, cooking show after cooking show and this and that. The thing about the Liquidator was at that time everybody was talking. Do you see that show about storage lockers? And I'm like, oh fuck, that shit doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. So anyway, they film it on a handy cam. The clip's still on YouTube. And within 2 hours, they called back and said, we got green lit for the show.
Well, it's funny because I happened to walk into your shop the day that you guys were filming and had a rent distress for you.
Well, that's right. Which one was that one?
We went and
Oh, yeah, that one.
distress for those,
Yeah,
those guys.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah, so we filmed the rent distress. And so that's basically how it happened. And we started filming. And would I do it again? You know what? I tell you what, the Liquidator fan base has been pretty around the world. Even the guy in front of me is from the Philippines. Was in the Philippines. They watched it. They watched it in Rome. I tell you, I was in Rome once with my wife and ex-wife. See, I got divorced after the show. Yeah, just like you. We both got divorced.
100%.
Yeah. Talking about marriage crash.
I'm 2 past that now.
You're 2 past that. Yeah. Well, I did. Yeah.
I'm surprised. You're from the Philippines?
Yeah.
He's divorced too.
I know, but I was saying, do you got a day off working carried?
What's that?
You got a day off from working as a carried?
No.
No? Okay.
What the fuck is that?
Well, all the Filipinos I know are all carrieds.
Oh,
They're all nurses.
well,
I'm surprised he's he's the guy pulling the strings behind this.
he is. He's actually.
Or is he here to keep your vitals?
What the fuck?
You forgot your pills.
I forgot. You guys. No. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, yeah. It was good. It was great. And we just basically filmed this show. Next thing you know, we're on camera, and the show did really well. Great fans. Everybody says, "Are we going to do it again?" Well, the problem is that I'm not that politically correct, and
You're not.
No, and well, you're worse.
No, I'm just slightly below you.
Yeah.
You know, I look up to you as the politically correct. Like that's what I would aspire to be. Is because I talk a lot of shit, but
I know who
the
your
shit that comes out of your mouth.
I know your favorite character on the Liquidator.
Oh, I bet you do. And I was just about to bring that exact thing up.
The Peacock lady.
100%.
These two hated each other.
Yet I don't know why. But she was, and I hate to say it, she's probably a lovely person, but she was
Or not.
such a fucking bitch to me.
Yeah.
And I tell you, on her last day, do you remember what I gave her?
What'd you give her on her last day?
I went down to the store, and I wrapped this gift up to her, and I gave it to her, and opened it up. So she had a gift. She opened it up. It was a bottle of Midol. I told her she should take 2 and shut the fuck up. And that was the last thing I ever said to her.
Yeah, you guys. No, she was an interesting lady, for that matter. But it was actually funny because we actually were doing live interviews on camera. So here we are sitting in this room. You can't really see it, and the director's there, the cameraman's there, and what if I told you that I had 40,000 dildos? She says, "Is it by size or color?" And she didn't react. The next girl I came in said that, and oh my God, she ran out of the office. Of course, she didn't get hired. So she did make a good hire. It was quite funny. She worked for us for about a year and a half, obsessed with peacocks. Anyway, people gave me shit because I charged her for the peacock. Well, fuck, why? I don't know what happened.
They charged her double.
Say
Okay.
hi to your fans.
Saying hi to everybody out there. You know what? That's what we're doing. And Sheldon came in here. He said, please, I said, don't talk about pronouns. Don't talk about politics.
I'm willing to talk about it all. We can lay it all on the line.
Lay it on the line. What are
I've
you
got
gonna
an
say?
opinion for everything.
Yeah.
But I see Jim here is just, Jeff, you got any pinball machines in stock?
I got no pinball machines.
I got a story about a pinball machine.
Yeah.
So I go and help Jeff. He sells his pinball machine. I help him load it into the back of this guy's truck. As we're loading it and I go to push it, my back goes out. And I mean, it goes out. So I'm standing there and I bend over, put my hands on my knees. I can't move. I can't walk. I can't move. So what they do is they pull my truck up front. 4 of them pick me up, throw me in the backseat of my own truck, and they take me to Burnaby General. Well, I get there, and I guess because I didn't come in an ambulance, they won't help me out of the truck. I can't get out. I'm stuck. So finally, I wiggle myself out. I shuffle myself in there. They load me up full of drugs. Back finally gets sort of fixed. I come back in the next day, and Jeff says to me, he says, "Hey, I need you to do me a favor." Yeah, this is how it always starts. I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go pick up these jeans for me. And this is segueing into the best fight that has never been shown on TV. It was filmed. It was never shown. So I go pick up these Aritzia jeans, and I'm going to say Aritzia with parentheses because we'll get to that. You just go down, load it up. I'm like, okay, my back's fucked. I can't load anything. No. You just pull up to the loading dock. They're gonna load you. Take this check. Give it to them. It's all good. So anyway, I get there. Give them the check. They've got all these boxes. No, your truck's lowered in the loading dock. You got to load it yourself. So here I am stuck. My back's screwed. I'm loading this truck up. I get it all strapped down. I get it to the shop. We pull up out front. Just like, okay, we're going for lunch. So we go for lunch. Whatever. We get back and Daniel and Leo and everybody have got all these jeans laid out on the couches. Well, they're about 8 inches too short. They're all size 54.
Oh yeah, fuck.
They're bell-bottom bottoms. They're the ugliest things you've ever seen. And Jeff sold some ugly jeans on the show. These were ugly.
Oh yeah.
So then he turns around and he starts screaming at me to fucking take this shit back and fucking get his fucking check back. And am I fucking stupid because I fucking took the shit? I just loaded the shit that I wasn't supposed to load. And then I tell you, me and him were nose to nose screaming at each other. You have never seen. And then he turns around to walk away from me. So I grab him and I spin him back around. Well, that's it. He's fucking done. And can I tell the rest of the story?
Go ahead.
So we're in the middle of filming all this. He's finally just like fucking irate. And I'm kind of like, I'm poking the bear. I'm now winding him up because I want to see his top blow. Well, finally it blows. He's telling the camera guys, just turn off the fucking cameras. I'm fucking done. This isn't going on. I'm fucking, just get the fuck up. Everybody's still filming. Everybody's just continuing. So he had these chess piece, horse head sort of statues, like a rook and or a knight. He picks this thing up and wings it at Carl, the camera guy. Well, it goes past his head, smashes on the wall behind him, and I've never seen the camera crew clean their shit up and leave quicker than any given day.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that, I tell you, if that scene had been shown of mine and your fight, greatest argument and fight in television history.
Well, you know what? The funny thing is about reality television, especially shows like ours, they don't really realize the amount of pressure it puts on people. Like a lot of these cooking shows, they set it up. It's, you know, pretty much scripted. And it's like filming a transaction on the Liquidator was like a fucking nightmare. Like you buy a deal, you bring it in, everything's got to be quiet. You can't do this, you can't do that. And it was so much pressure. Yeah, man, I tell you, like it took a lot out of you. And it burned me out hard, right? I mean, I remember one episode they brought in Jose. And well, we brought in Jose and he was working as a salesman. And what you didn't see is Jose is literally over there selling shit, giving my shit away. And I'm losing money. And now when I think about it, it's funny. But at the time I was like, fuck, man, he's selling it less than cost, and who's paying for it? Me. You know, so, yeah, it was...
Cameron Deo means Jeff is single. No, he has a significant other in his life. He is a really great guy.
Yeah, Jeff is a great guy. we really want to let go, but we're trying.
Somebody actually just said, "Hey, cool podcast. You're finally doing something right."
Now, you know what? We're learning. It's going through the curve to actually get some shit going. But tell me a little bit about your politics there, Sheldon. Like, what do you think about what's going on? Don't you find it really interesting that now it used to be when you watch the American politics, now Canadian politics, I'm actually excited. Don't worry, we're not going to talk about politics. But don't you find it really interesting when you see now Canadian politics, like when they used to show the House of Commons? Now what's great.
Now, oh yeah, I'm right into it. And the nightmare they've got in the States, oh man. I mean, I won't even talk about the border crisis or the screw up in Iraq, Afghanistan. I won't talk about how that country is just falling apart from the inside.
You see, this is where it gets really hard, because and now, especially big business, and I'm not a big business. If you press the wrong buttons, one press of that button, and that's it, you're done. And
100%.
so, but if you think about it, it's been years like this. But unfortunately now, or fortunately now, whatever you want to say, we got social media, you got all this crazy shit, and people can sit at home and they can be a keyboard warrior and say whatever the fuck they want. And it takes one person. One person, like I was talking about that with Roy. You do 99.9% right, one idiot gets on there. Here's the thing that I did the other day. I took a picture on my phone. There's a picture of a phone on a big beach in Mexico. I shoot this picture when I was in Mexico. It was a great beach scene, nice waves, all that shit. I did. Wish I was there right now. Fucking, I don't know why. I thought this could be a very safe tweet. Just a tweet about a fucking ocean in Mexico. That's it. Guy responds, said, "Are you poking fun of us? You're an asshole, or you're a jerk."
Well,
No. Why? So I thought, what the fuck could possibly be wrong with a picture of a beach? So I go, I don't know what you're talking about. You're making fun of us because of the hurricanes that we had back east. How in the fuck did you take a picture of a beach and turn it into me making fun of you? Anybody in their fucking right mind, I mean, who's going to make fun of despair? Like, seriously. So I look at this fucking thing and I go, all right, I got to pull this. So that's it. I cannot, it was a picture of a fucking beach, and that was it, and this guy loses his shit. I have no idea why, and it's because I insinuated that Nova Scotia, that I'm heart against, dude, devastation. Like a picture of a beach.
Yep.
So like there's a picture of your hat. Like if I take a picture of it, now I take that, I put it on there, and next thing you know, I'm fucked.
Oh yeah, because hold on, all of a sudden somebody's not a San Francisco Giants fan.
Oh God.
You know, and that's the state of the world we're in right now. Is this cancel culture it's grown legs, and it's doing nothing for us. It's doing so much harm and damage. I'll bring up Dr. Seuss for example. I've got every Dr. Seuss book out there. I've read them all to my son.
The Egg and I, is that what it is? How is it?
No, one of them was if I ran the zoo, and it was one of the ones that got canceled. Well, I read that book to my son probably 100 times. Never once did I ever read that book going, "Oh, this is a racist book." No, it's because all the animals in there were all jumbled up parts. They were all different, and kids were laughing at them and pointing. And you know what? The only thing you get out of that whole book is that kids are fucking mean. You know, people talk about, well, you know, kids aren't racist. They don't talk about any of this stuff. No, kids are the most racist, ignorant people out there because they're mean. They don't know any better. I'm not sitting at home teaching my kid anything wrong. They pick it up on their own. But it's how we curb our kids to, you know, to direct them in the right direction. But the idea of canceling everything, I'm just so
I did like Dr. Seuss because it was easy to read. Very easy reading.
Yeah, I can see you probably got a whole collection of C-Spot run books.
Well, I didn't do much reading when I was a kid. I just learned how to read, actually.
Yeah. Well, I know the kind of magazines you were reading, and it wasn't for the articles.
No, they had lots of pictures of them.
Oh yeah, picture books are great.
Very, very easy pictures. But Playboy was kind of a boring one because it didn't really get into it. I mean, Hustler was kind of my thing.
No, it was just for the comic strips.
That's right.
You know, the political comic strips.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about. We got we during COVID. You know that I never shut down one day during COVID. Not one day. Every business around me was closed. I opened every day. But we got into the auction business. So coming up, we got a couple of auctions coming. So if you go to Direct Liquidations /auctions, we got an auction of Snowpiercer, which is a TV show. We've got some light industrial. We took out an Amazon warehouse that closed down, and we're going to be doing that. And the thing is, a lot of people they watch our auctions, and how come you can't say the name? A lot of these shows, they have an NDA, meaning we can't announce the name of the show. So yeah, we're doing that. What the fuck is Jason Eisner saying? Right.
So
rename it to a podcast with a pair of Biden and Trudeau lovers. You know, Jason. You know. Here's the deal. I'm going to repeat that. Jason Eisner in Swan River, Manitoba. I'm pointing out very clearly here, trying to take an even balance. Yes, I lean very much to the right. Yes, I do. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm right center.
I'm right center. Yep. Center of right.
Yep.
Right. But the right is the only right.
Well,
right?
That's just right. The left can leave.
No, honestly, I mean, my views on Trudeau, I mean, no. Any leader that's been around for as many, you know, he's now been in third term. I mean, you just automatically hate him. What do I think of the guy? You know what? I wouldn't want to be him. That's for sure. How's that?
Well, you know, the thing is, his speeches and stuff are great. Being a drama teacher for so long, you know, he was
a good actor?
100%.
Yeah.
You know, he plays to his constituents, and he plays to the rest of Canada. That's why he's been voted back in, you know, and but I think there's a changing of the guard, you know, in politics come right across North America.
Well, that's
south of the border
definitely,
and north.
definitely. I mean, Fred Frame, the director of the show. Fred Frame directed all the episodes of Liquidator. Great guy, lives in Mexico. And I showed him a picture of the new conservative leader, and he refers to him as a paperboy. And I kind of went, yeah. But it's funny. So you gotta be able to poke fun of these guys somewhat, right? I mean, I don't know if I never voted for him, but not Trudeau. I don't think I would. But again, touching on it.
But here's the thing: is why are we not allowed, and everybody else allowed their opinions? We don't all have to align. It was great that 5 years ago we could all talk about things and have debates on things, and at the end of it,
Yeah,
agree
we
to
were all
disagree.
friends. That's the problem. Now we can't. Canada.
There's this divide.
I used to go to the States. You're right. I used to go to the States and say, and I talk about a Republican spot, but in Canada we were always bragging that you could be a conservative, a liberal, NDP. You guys agree to disagree. We walk out. Now, holy fuck! I
If
tell
you
you
don't
what.
agree with me, you're wrong.
That's
And that's the
I'm
problem.
right no matter what.
Well, you're always right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because
But-
I tell you you're right.
But it got pretty fucked up, and it's I don't know. COVID was a big reset, man. It changed a lot. Oh, that's a word I shouldn't have used.
Said with love, Jason.
Yeah.
Oh, buddy.
We had remember Dave the
Moonshine.
Moonshine Dave. That was one of the things filming with Dave that you guys didn't get to see. So Dave was this fucking guy from Port St. John. He owned a bar. He was fuck. This guy used to come make his own moonshine. And what you guys didn't see is it took sometimes hours to do some filming. He started off with a jug like this, and by the time it was
big
done,
mason jars.
a mason jar full of moonshine, and the guy was pissed and what shit faced. So anyway, I showed him a Polaris, like a quad, and the fucker
It was the 6-wheel one.
he was so drunk, we just didn't pay attention. He drove the truck, he drove the thing right into a building. He pretty much goes head first, and anyway, regrettably, Dave passed away, and he did die, and it was funny, not funny, but I was talking to his brother. So he gets diagnosed with terminal cancer in December. And he says to the doc, look, I got to live a couple more months. Just give me some kind of a drug. I don't give a fuck what it is. I just got to live a couple more months. And he did. He lived a couple more months. And anyway, he was a great character. I loved working for Dave. And he had a bar in Fort St. John's, and he had this drink because Jeff the Liquidator gives head for $5. And that was his drink. Liquidator gives head.
Good God. There's an empty glass.
It was an empty glass. The Liquidator doesn't give head, but it was pretty funny. So we got people that are watching this thing. Somebody say something in Sheldon once. What is that? What happened to your store in Brandon, Manitoba? Well, what happened to my store in Brandon, Manitoba? It didn't work out as well as what we thought. We thought that we could take some of these stores across Canada and get them going, but it's difficult. It's very difficult to replicate what we do here in the liquidation business.
Well, they don't have any good bailiffs out there that give them all the deals, so.
That's true. That's true. Roy runs a store in Toronto. Roy Dernbeck from Storage Wars. We're going to have him on. I got to tell you a funny story about Roy. So we had a lot of laughs about, like, I used to make fun of Storage Wars, I think, because I just did. Anyway, so I go to Toronto, and so Roy and I go to this bar. We park our car in this building. We walk in. There's the concierge at the front. He sees us.
Is this like I can do like the Snoop
You
Dogg
can
thing while
you
I'm
can smoke. Do it, yeah.
No, I'm not smoking any wacky tobacco or anything.
My
but-
story, goddammit, is that's important. So we go to the bar, and there's this concierge, and he goes, Jeff, holy fuck, I'm the Liquidator. And Roy's like, this is my brother's building. He goes, do you know me? And he goes, no, who are you? And his brother been living in this building for 5 years, and no one ever recognized Roy. And anywhere we went to Toronto.
Well, I was on the trip with you.
Right? So this one day, we're at the keg drinking. We always go to the keg, and the Tragically Hip guys show up, and this guy pulls out a joint, and he goes, "You want?" At that time, I was smoking. You want a puff? I took a little puff, and I went, "Holy fuck, this is deadly." So we go back to the table. Roy, I go, "They're smoking weed. You want to take a? You should." Oh yeah, man, we got the best weed in Toronto. I go, Roy, this is BC Bud, man. You're gonna get floored on your
It's a funny
ass.
story about that BC Bud too,
Oh my God.
with a certain Swan River guy.
Oh, the Swan River guy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Jason comes over. Sheldon's got this BC weed. Sheldon could smoke 3 joints and you wouldn't even know that he had one. I take 2 puffs. I'm under the ground.
Yeah.
What happened to Jason?
Oh, he smoked himself green. But the funny thing is what he said. You remember sitting there?
What did he say?
We're sitting outside.
Call you back in 10 minutes.
He said he's going to go pass out in the room, but he didn't want to leave the lights on because he was afraid he was going to grow.
Jason, holy fuck was he?
You know?
Yeah.
I didn't laugh so hard that night. Like, just, I was pissing myself laughing. But, you know, like, that's an interesting story, too. How we met Jason.
Oh,
I was there the first night that you met Jason.
Oh, yeah, that's funny.
With this crazy fucker phoning you nonstop all day.
Yeah.
You know, just relentless on the phone.
Okay, come.
I'm hopping on a plane. I'm coming out there. Okay, come. And we're driving around sitting there going, yeah. You guys aren't going to show up. Yeah, sure enough.
Terry showed up. We picked him up at the airport.
Yep.
Yeah. Became friends. It was a bunch of us. Yeah.
And that was a wild night.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah, we supported our local strip clubs, I think, that night, actually.
Yes, we did. Yeah, we called it Recycling Money. Sadly, talking about some of the sad things, but yeah, sadly, Jason's wife passed away this year of cancer.
Yeah.
Very young. I mean, it happened so quick. They went on a holiday, they came back, and 3 months later, you know. So that's why we were raising money for this fight that we'll talk about. We got Jason Fenton coming. Jason, not today, but Jason Fenton took the team actually on the money that we raised to Malaysia, and the guys did it great. So I dyed my hair blue. That was in the color of the cancer that she had, and yeah, that's how things happen, how life goes, right?
Yep. And it was, you know, following that story with all Jason's posts and everything over the course of what happened, it was nice to see, you know, the time that was spent with his family and what they did and
that was yeah, that you're very right. Like, just when I thought that we're all fucked, we're like left and right and all this crazy ass shit, we're all ganging up on each other, and Jason created a Facebook friend group of his wife Robin, and I tell you what, it grew to I don't know how many people, 150, 200 people, and it was every day it was something new, and it just shows me that you know we still have it, you know, we still have that love, you know, that we've lost, you know, and whether you were vaccinated or you didn't believe in vaccination, whether you liked Trudeau, whether you hate Trudeau, it didn't matter anymore. It was like, hey man, let's, you know, and they fought that pretty damn tough and right to the very last minute. So yeah, that was pretty hard. Yeah.
But so here's a question now. All the crazy characters we've had. There was yourself, there was me, there was Jose, we had Renee, we had Doug the biker, we had all these one-off guys that came in and sold deals to you. One character that sticks out in your mind that you could do your own show with, you'd like an opportunity to sit across the table from this podcast, have it out with. Who's one person on the show that was either the biggest pain in your ass or somebody that you just so enjoyed having those?
I enjoyed the out of the characters had to be Jose, and I'll tell you why. I've been liquidating stuff out of Jose's warehouse for a long time, and I phoned him up. I said, "Hey, we're gonna do some filming," and we go there to film one of the.
Now hold on, didn't he hang a going out of business sign on his business the day he moved into it?
Pretty much. We seriously went in there to film, and he thought that we were doing an episode on the Knowledge Network. That's honestly. So he's like filming. He had no idea what the fuck is going on. We filmed, and a week before, I'd taken a dump in his toilet, and I left, and I flushed it.
If anybody knows Jeff's dumps, I mean, you got to have hazmat on speed dial.
Anyway, I flooded. I left, and I flushed the toilet. I said, "See you later." This is before we filmed, and the next thing you know, then his entire warehouse had an inch of water on it. And I had no idea. So anyway, I phoned him up, and he's telling me this, and I'm laughing at him. So we come to film there. We sort of briefly touched on it, but yeah, he was just the one thing I got the most pissed off at. He did sell me this load of furniture from Indonesia that was rotten, and he gets the insurance money. I lose. Jose's got 9 fucking lives. Like that guy, I don't. Shit that happened, but it was funny filming with him because it just was like I don't know, it just was and it was all true, you know. And then we did this thing. We went to Mexico, and we're doing this hunt for Jose, So, and I was actually filming, so I had this picture of this a Mexican guy on a cartoon under a cactus. So there's this fat guy under a cactus, and I'm walking around Mexico going, anybody see this guy? And people are actually like, yeah, I think he's over there. It was, you know what? He got into this business of, they were working with migrants, and so he was always crossing the border every day.
They sent her to Martha's Vineyard?
They said they said the border's in there. No, but he was shopping. All the customs guys used to bust his balls, right? So who knows what he was bringing? No, he was bringing cheese and Mexican food that was at a Mexican store. Yes, don't worry. We talked to him yesterday, and he says, "Don't worry about the wall. We just build tunnels, right?"
No, you know the thing is though, is the U.S. would build a wall. Jose would open a ladder store on the other side.
Yes, Jose would, and they would be faulty ladders.
100%.
Jose would.
You're going out of business. Get your ladders today. Last chance to get over the wall.
Yeah, no, he would, and then if you would have these migrants crawl, and then they would all be falling down because the fucking ladders were breaking. No, everybody asks me what happened to him, and I always say Jose's building bricks with the bricks from Walter, and that, let me tell you something, that fucking Walter with his fucking bricks, they show up to my warehouse. I had bricks in my warehouse, and I sold about maybe $800 worth of bricks. I had bricks falling over. So anyway, and this was hilarious. I put an ad on Craigslist, free bricks, and these people were showing up. I had every brick down to the last brick. Then there was about 20 or 30 bricks left. People were taking bricks. They were almost killing each other because there was only 20 bricks. But that's how I got rid of those damn bricks. Had to give them away for free. Made for a good episode.
We could also talk about the infamous bidder that never paid.
Oh, fuck.
You know, this is a great platform for you to finally say how you feel, because I know how I feel about him.
So we do an auction, and he was on there. Buyer 11 he was, and didn't pay his bill. And
how much did he spend? Not only did he not pay his bill.
Yeah, he spent about 12 grand at that auction, which was about a third. Was about
more than 12 grand.
Was it more than that?
He was like 60 or 70
he
grand.
Paid whatever it was. He paid.
He bought 2 semi trucks.
He bought 2 semi trucks.
All that tile.
Yeah.
He bought all the cabinets that were inside that cabinet shop.
Yeah.
He bought probably 65% of what that auction was, and then barfed.
And then barf didn't pay, then sues me. Go to the small claims court, and the small claims, the lawyer says, Mr. So-and-so, you didn't pay your bill. No, I didn't. Why? Because I didn't have the money. Okay, throw this out. You're wrong. He's right. Let's go. Well, 2 months later, he comes after me. He sues me again. He claims that we had all that tile, but all that tile there was not enough to do this room. It was 500 square feet, 600 square feet, 30 square feet. You know, so we ended up getting it back, and he said, well, I built a $200,000 pool to use this tile. Well, it would have been one of the ugliest pools because there wouldn't have been enough to do more than 100 square feet. Anyway, this goes on for years, and then there was a Volvo. It was a yard goat semi-truck. And the last service that was documented was at 1 million kilometers 15 years ago. So he's claiming that this thing only had 1 million miles. Let me tell you something. If it had 1 million kilometers on it, this thing had about 7 million kilometers. Every trucking company in Vancouver didn't want it.
Yep.
And he's claimed that, like, if I would have sold a truck that had 1 million kilometers on it at that year, I'd have been a complete idiot, because there's no way I would have bought the damn thing and turned around and sold it. I think he paid 7,000 or 8,000. No, he paid 11 grand for that thing. Anyway. It was only good. I mean, you couldn't. It was one of these things you just couldn't use. But yeah, that sucked. And again, it took 2 years. 2 years in court. And guess what? I ended up having to pay. Huh. I still like. Yeah, that was.
You know, and we're going to talk about another thing here too, because there's something that I need the general public to know about a certain deal that we did, well, that you did, but that I talked you into.
Oh yeah.
And if it wasn't for my telling you to buy that deal, you know.
Yeah, okay, let's touch on that deal. So I get this fucking insurance claim on, I don't know, a whole bunch of marijuana growing equipment. We call it tomatoes because at that time it was illegal. Now it's legal. And I tell you, I bought this deal for $35,000, and the only thing I knew about that deal was that there was soil in it. I thought, holy shit! Sheldon's like, get this deal. He was, and I did. We got this deal. And it was all grow equipment. That time, we're talking about tomatoes. Now, of course, we don't have to talk about it.
Now we talk about marijuana
bud, sheesh, hashish. And so we get this deal, about 12 trailers of it. And Sheldon, I mean, customers that were going to church on Sundays were coming in, buying stuff that I would never suspect. And they're telling me about growing plants and growing this. And oh my God, I had no fucking idea on what the hell it was. And I tell you what, Sheldon, yes, yeah, he actually knew, and yeah, that deal did. Yeah, that deal did really well, thanks to Sheldon. And it was. I'm glad that we did it. And the characters, the people that we met, guys, telling me, yeah, we got 17 trailers buried here, underneath here, all this. Give me a drag of that fucking thing. Has that got weed in it?
No.
You don't want to see me stoned.
No, I was gonna bring in something to do like the Snoop Dogg sort of thing, but wasn't sure how your building codes were around here, so didn't want to piss anybody off.
But yeah, that deal did phenomenal, and I had no idea what the hell I was selling. I did not, and then we got down to I think the dribs, and there's never a deal where you get everything sold.
No.
And I had probably a 5-ton full, and this guy out of nowhere shows up and he gives me X amount of dollars for it. But yeah, thanks to Sheldon, that deal was one of the best deals I ever did. You know what, guys? Don't want to bore you. This was our first kick at the can.
Hi, Lenka. Hi, Todd. Hi, Jason.
Anybody, we're going to do some more of this stuff. We'll bring Sheldon back. We just thought we'd shoot the shit with you. Got to tell you, the Liquidator is back. He's going to come back slowly. I think that we're going to... Would you do another show?
You know, the funny thing is, I almost had my own show.
Yeah, well, that's a cooking show, and I know you know how to cook.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a cooking show.
It wasn't a cooking show?
No.
What kind of a show could have?
They were going to put me in my own bailiff show.
Sheldon the Bailiff?
We even shot a pilot.
I know, under my nose, that's right.
I know. Well, they wouldn't let me tell you.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me talk to you.
There's no loyalty anymore.
But, you know, I would do it again because I tell you, I had so much fun.
Yeah.
In the time we did that.
That's
Being there and being part of the filming and seeing everything that we did and the funny conversations and the shit that just came out when we do business together.
Yeah.
But to watch that 22 minutes on TV and realize
I agree.
4 hours of the funniest shit you've ever seen ended up on the cutting room floor because it just didn't fit into the storyline.
It was definitely, I would do it again. Definitely I got called to do a show a couple of weeks ago. I was a guest on the show. I don't know, I signed some documents, so I can't talk about it, but it's where people accumulate goods, right? Anyway, I went on there, and for some reason I was nervous because I haven't been on camera in a while. And it went really smooth, and I went, whoa, wow. Like, I actually genuinely miss it. The point was, he asked me, do you want to do this? I said, sure. We went back and forth. You know you're not going to get paid. I said, yeah, I know. And the guy goes, well,
sounds like
yeah, right,
you like
right?
that.
And I went, and the guy goes, well, what do you mean? I said, you know what, honestly? And they kept telling me this, hey, look, man, if the show does well, you know what, maybe you're not going to make, and let me tell you, there's no money in Canadian production. And I just said, yeah, whatever. If I get the deal, I stand a chance to make money. So I look at it this way. I went to this person's house, tried to buy this stuff, didn't happen, and that happens. I mean, not every deal you get, right? So would I do it again? Sure. It definitely, definitely worth doing it. Hello from East Tennessee. Have you ever been to Tennessee?
From East Tennessee? No, I haven't been in Tennessee.
Is there a West Tennessee that I don't know about?
It's on my it's on my bucket list.
Yeah. Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I just bought a little
Nashville,
lumber from
Graceland,
Tennessee.
Dollywood. I mean, there's the Titanic Museum is there.
Where, in Tennessee?
Yeah.
That seems like a good place.
Far inland.
Far inland, yeah.
Yeah.
You think it would be on the coast of East Coast of Canada, PEI, I would know. Well, I guess that. Yeah.
Hello from East Tennessee. We've got
And the Yukon.
We got Darcy from the Yukon.
Jeff,
We got-
they're asking where you're at now.
Where am I at now? Well, you want to know what the fuck happened to the Liquidator? The Liquidator almost got liquidated. That's right. The Liquidator, we had a building at 6990 Greenwood Street in Burnaby that was our main location. I was running a liquidation store. I was running a company in China, and I was filming a television show. And I didn't have much time for my family, so I ended up getting divorced. Do I blame the show? I mean, the show played a part of it. And we ended up having to sell the building. COVID hit. Ended up moving to another warehouse, which we thought we were going to be in for a long time. And we're now, where the fuck are we? We're 2622 Nootka. It was a rough couple of years. Yeah. We're in Vancouver, and we're still doing auctions. We're still doing a lot of movie sets. Still in business. Still dealing with this fucking bozo. And yeah, so it was a shit kicking, and the divorce. There's West Tennessee, Nashville, Memphis. Oh, well, that's the funny thing is, the show did not get into the United States right away, and it finally got onto Amazon Prime and a bunch of networks. And I tell you what, it did well in Canada. I mean, throughout the world. and they finally got it in the States. The thing about Canada and the United States, the money here in Canada when you're doing television isn't like in the States, and but to see that we picked up some American fans has been pretty good. That was my goal. Actually, I did. The funny thing is that I got a couple of roles, like acting roles, and I had to do some fucking simple 6 lines. And this guy helped me out. He puts everything in a cue card, and I got to meet Rainn Wilson. I do a scene on a show called that didn't do very well, Backstorm. And here I'm sitting one time in my house in Palm Springs watching television, and there I am auctioning this thing off, and it was weird. And to see the Liquidator not in the States, and now of course it's done well. So we picked up some fans.
Well,
what is that?
We stopped filming when 2015.
We finished in 2016. So how many of the original cast do you think would return if we were to pull it off again? I know Jose.
Not one of us.
Yeah, probably. There you go. Not one of us.
And I'll speak for everyone.
Come on. We would get some of them back.
No,
and some of them we don't know.
What? I don't even understand why they don't do one of those, like,
a reunion
where
show.
Are they now?
I would always wanted to do that. Yep.
We can have a big board up with everybody's face, a couple of them X'd out. We can put, like, this guy was divorced, this one's been bankrupt. It was like the Liquidator was almost a curse.
It was a curse.
Because how many of us went through relationship changes?
You,
over the course
me,
of the show?
Daniel, at the start of another guy. Sam had some issues. Oh yeah. I started smoking. I quit smoking when I was 20. I started smoking. Fred, the director. This is my nickname. I know what annoys everybody. Fred, the director, started smoking these cigars. I started smoking heavy. But yeah, I mean, we would love to see. I mean, Ron Cox was a great character, but he left after season 2. Wayne's done okay. He's got an auction going out now. We did have a couple of run-ins, but I think we rectified it. Sam from Madison's Auctions, he sold his business and now works for Able. Kind of competitors of us, but we still remained friends. Who else? Jason Eisner. We talk quite often. Roy, who was on the episode from Storage Wars.
Maybe you can ask the viewers what they want to see.
There you go.
Well, here's a quick one here. How do I scroll down here? Because I missed one comment there I wanted to respond to. Aussies love the Liquidator,
right?
Yeah, way to be. Down under.
Say hello to my buddy Jason Newman in Australia. That was kind of wild. Jason and I was in the spring business. I could tell you stories about my mattress business. I mean, I sold these springs all around the world, and I had no fucking idea what the hell I was selling. And it lasted for about 12 years. And that's another topic. But yes, right on, Wayne. Yep, right. Daniel, don't talk to Daniel that often. Don't see him that much. I know that he's got into some sort of business, but I think his brother just got married. Who else?
Well, I mean, like there was
Renee,
Christine. We've got Renee.
Renee's back working at the store, doing well. Yeah.
Renee, I tell you, for such a guy with small stature, he is fucking ripped.
Yeah, he is ripped. Yeah, he got into personal fitness. Renee's a great guy, great loyal employee. He went through some relationship problems too.
Yep.
Married a Filipino guy. Just in case you didn't know.
Married a Filipino
man.
Oh,
no.
Bakla.
No, it's Bacau. Oh, no, that's Bacau. No, that's Thailand.
Yeah.
Bacau, my favorite Muay Thai guy.
Oh, Bakla.
Yeah. Bakla? That means masturbate or something, doesn't it?
Bakla.
Well, fuck, don't say that. Bakla. I know that means some shit that I shouldn't say.
Well, it's, I had Filipino friends growing up, but they only...
There's Roy, what's up?
Teach you the swear words.
What's up, you
Roy,
wankers?
Did Renee and Sheldon ever have sex together? Well, yeah, but you know who is pitching and who is catching. Not the same as me and you, Roy. You were just strictly a catcher.
It's only called that kind of gay sex if you call it gay. Otherwise, it's just sex.
Yeah, but I've got a sister who's gay, and and I've grown up around that whole. I don't want to say.
I've seen some of the girls that your sister's been with. They're pretty damn hot.
Well, my sister's a catch. I mean, she fishes, she hunts, she owns her own mobile marine mechanic business. I mean, she's every guy's dream, but every guy's got the wrong plumbing. She's
actually a good sport. Funny girl. She's yeah. I don't even hunt and fish. All right, guys, we're gonna do this here and there. Thank you, everybody. What is it? Daniel Fu. Yeah, Daniel Fu. And that's Sean Cho Fu.
Lori Eisner. Oh, another one of the Eisners. Oh, we knew.
Yeah. No, I don't know. This guy, it's kind of fun. Signing off, you guys. If you guys do anything, what is? Oh yeah, right
Does it tell us how many people are watching right now?
Probably nobody.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Who
the hell would want to
wants
watch?
to fucking watch us?
Watch
on
up,
Saturday
washed
morning?
up TV show guys that had a TV show 10 years ago.
35.
For how many?
35.
35. All of you fans out there, and there's only 35 of you guys.
Oh.
Miss you, Sheldon. Come lock up my store anytime, buddy. I'll come seize your shit in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Morning, boys. Dean Spady. There's another
Dean Spady,
great
yeah,
character.
that was another great character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how many sections of a cow did you sell?
I sold 6/4 of a quarter of a cow.
Yeah, that was great because
And
one
Dean
of those
got-
orders was mine.
Yeah, Dean got in shit because he undersold the value. Of course, the price of beef's gone up now. Oh, did I ever get in a lot of shit when we were eating hamburgers?
Oh, there we go. You know, talking about a few more here. We got some people talking about Ursula from Storage Wars. Jesus,
Hello
it's
from
been 10
Latvia.
years. Latvia. Wow. You know, we could just sit here and watch the ticker tape
Yeah.
and say hi to Billy Nova. Bill, how's it going, buddy?
I got in so much shit. People were calling me every name in the book, and I don't even eat beef. One of the craziest episodes, actually.
You don't eat beef?
No, I don't eat beef. I stopped eating beef. I got really sick, but actually, one of the funniest episodes was, and the most irrational fans I ever had. So we bought this fur deal, and the Sam Perlman, another character. I get this fur deal. So what these guys, some environmentalist guys went in and they sprayed this thing and they wrote off $1 million worth of furs. Okay, first of all, I got people were you piece of shit. Okay, let's be this. I do not agree with shooting animals for their fur. Okay, I don't do it. But people do it. I can't stop them. It's none of my business. This is their trade. This is what they do. Whatever. So these guys cost about $1 million, $1.5 million damage. Destroy all these furs. We get it in, and I sell these things. Now, what was I supposed to do with it? Was I supposed to let it go to garbage, or do I sell it? So there was some leather in there and all that other stuff. Sell it, and I tell you, these people were on me, and I'm like, dude, I didn't shoot the shit. I just sold the shit, and otherwise it would have just gone to waste. Was that the right thing? They're demonstrating anti-fur. I mean, I'm not for it. Like I don't agree with going out and hunting an animal for their trophy. But am I going to buy it? Of course. It is what it is. Like, you know, I don't know. People can do whatever the fuck they want. But I tell you what, I got called out. I had to block people. Anyway, we're going to call it today. Sell. That's right. What else we got? The sewing machine deal. That was another good deal. Oh,
The
fuck.
sewing machine deal?
Yeah, that was a great deal.
You know, actually, one of the ones I still love was the auction in Ladner with the sex wheel of death.
The sex wheel and death. And I got away with it. This guy seizes this guy's warehouse, and what we didn't see was the fucking fucked up pictures of what they were doing on the sex wheel. Oh my god. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great one, and the fact the city tried to shut us down.
Oh man, so we're doing an auction. We're getting ready for an auction. This is the only time the production company had to help me. So we're set this huge auction up. We're filling it up. We have this guy named Dan Bouchard. We get all these great shit, and up comes this fucking inspector and saying you can't have an auction here. Why? Because you're not licensed. What do you mean I'm not licensed? This guy, and I'm like arguing. So you could have a garage sale. So I said if I have a garage sale, the government's going to collect no tax. But if I have an auction, then you can't do it. So here I am on the 12th hour with this fucker shutting me down. We got 10 grand, 20 grand tied up in labor, everything set up, and we can't do it. So the only way that we could actually have this auction is Nate Productions, the film company, went to the city and got an application to film it as a show, and $75. That's all it was. $75 to get this application. They had to hire 2 Delta cops to sit outside. People were only so many people, but it made it interesting because people were now parking, and we got a bus. We're bringing people in on buses in this sex wheel and this dungeon shit, and that was the only time they actually had to get involved with saying, "Hey, listen, we're filming here." Oh yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. That was one of my favorite episodes. Yeah, Billy Nova, the Sheldon, the pallet racking. It was, and we had some great stuff. That was Bob Chapman. The guy that was with the Christmas trees.
Yeah.
It was his sister's stuff that we sold, and we had and that was before anything went online. We had about 400 or 500 people there. It was a very successful auction. And what you guys didn't see in that auction is I brought over all the trade-in sewing machines that I didn't think would do anything, and we got thousands of dollars for these broken sewing machines. Yeah.
Hey, thanks everybody for like chiming in, and funniest episode was when the guy tried to buy the yeah. We're getting into that, are we there, Roy?
Okay, Roy.
Yeah.
Gotta leave that one alone.
Roy Derenbeck, that's not politically correct.
Tom Peary.
I'm just going to leave that one alone.
Yeah.
But, I think me and Jeff will come back, and I think if everybody wants, we'll do a full episode on BLM, on on transgender,
Roy, you have to go there. You have to go there.
We'll sit there and hash it all out.
Has he finished?
I finished. I finished.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. Hanging in there. We're going to be back. Goodbye, everybody.